Welcome to the Resilience Project podcast, where we dive deep into the challenges men face and explore ways simply just to build a bulletproof, resilient mind and body. I'm Abdul, your host here today, and I'm excited to have you to join us on this journey of empowerment and transformation. As promised previously, in each episode, we bring you inspiring stories, expert insights, and practical strategies to help you forge a stronger, more resilient mind and body to live a stronger life. Now, today we have a special guest who is going to be joining us, and he is a seasoned professional in the construction industry with a wealth of experience in dealing with the uniqueness challenges faced by workers on site. But more importantly, he's a passionate advocate for mental health and a mentor to many fathers out there struggling to balance the demands of work and family life. Now, I'm going to bring him onto the call, and please, everybody, welcome. I'm just about to bring him into the call. Welcome, the Stingray. The Stingray, how are you today? Welcome to the call, buddy. Hope you're well. It's a pleasure to have you on the call.
Charged up and had my coffee full of beans, jumped out of bed. And I'm here to
Mad, mad.
brutal honesty, throw out the baby with the bathwater, the whole lot. That's what I'm about. How you
Awesome
going, my friend?
stuff.
Thanks for
I am
letting me
I,
go.
I am doing great. I am doing great. Thank you for joining the podcast today. I know you are going to be sharing many insights, from your experiences on construction sites. So,
There's a
if there
lot.
are any audience, any listeners out there who are in part of the construction sites out there and you are witnessing some mental health struggles, this is probably for you to tune in. And
Melbourne, Queensland, Victoria, everywhere,
yeah,
man. Around
a
town.
100%, 100%. Stingray. This is what you go by. The Stingray, Mr. Stingray. Uh, Apart from what I've shared for the audience to begin to know who you are, what else can you share about you? What do you do, and why have you chosen to pursue the talk narrative? I love this shit, by the way, buddy. I love it. I love it, and
Brutal.
I'm all for it. I'm all for
It
it. And
means a lot,
yeah,
man. It means a lot. Not just to me, my life experiences and everything. I was a maintenance carpenter, traveled around the mines, done a lot of work, trade qualified carpenter, crane operator, ninja, rapper, omega. I do it all, but primarily in construction. My dad, unfortunately, has passed away, but when he was finishing in the army, he was a warrant officer, a very strict man. He finished in safety and construction for many years before he passed. And so I had a lot of experience working with my old man in construction, seeing the safety issues. He's nursed people to their death, crushed by tilt panels. It led him towards substance abuse. He actually sued the army for alcoholism and won the case as well. So I've witnessed a lot of in-home problems, substance abuse, seen the guys on site struggle. Every state and has different legislations and different qualities expected from workers, and obviously the sensitive topic of labor hire is another thing I'd like to discuss too when we get to that. um, it's almost a lot of negative things, because when you work in labor hire, you tend to be the bottom, the scum of the pond. You could say that I've been called hired help on some jobs too, because it's a casual position, you know what I mean? It's not very full time. So there's a lot of factors like yeah, it's a big deal, mate. That's why I made up the Talk brand, just to try and get it out. You know, like
mm,
it might be sensitive to some people, but I really don't give a fuck. I'm just gonna say how it is, and yeah, people need to talk more about it. They need to talk up. It's a talk, not tell you. Some people say tell you. It's talk, mate. It's talk. That's what I'm about.
I love it. I absolutely love it. And so you've been in the construction industry from a very, very young age. Then I see here.
Yeah, mate, I got my trade qualified papers in 2006, and then I ventured away from building houses because there was no money in it, and started doing the mining work. And I've
Mm,
lived in remote desert countries, in the middle of nowhere. I've stayed in shipping containers where there's no union, there's no accountability for bosses that are bullies. People get picked on. There's been sexual abuse, substance abuse, age discrimination too. If you're young and you're inexperienced, you just get treated like shit. The construction industry has a lot of policies, discrimination policies, all these legal jargon, documents, and paperwork, but it's just insurance to cover their ass. Half of it doesn't mean
Wow.
fuck all. Like it's
Wow.
yeah. The boss is probably not going to like hearing this, but that's the truth of it. That's what it is. Like paperwork does not stop shit, mate. It's just all for the courts. When you're out on site, when you're on the front lines, all these policies just go straight out the window. Like that baby I threw before and the
Mm.
bathroom, all gone. It's a sad topic, mate, to be honest. But
It is absolutely. And by the way, for all of our listeners, this is not about bad mouthing or shaming anyone. This
oh,
this is
sure.
more about basically about sharing the awareness out there, and to start speaking out. And this is what Stingray and myself, as part of the Resilience Project, this is exactly what we are about: educating, inspiring struggling men out there to make better choices, to provide them the awareness and the
Right.
tools and the resources that you guys need to begin to make better decisions and to begin to stand up as well. And we have so many exciting topics. So I thought I'd also mention this as well before we really dig in into the details of this. Now, Stingray. Now, basically, a brief overview of the importance of mental health in the construction industry. Something that I never thought that really existed. The importance, the issues. Uh, the, so just before we really dig in, do you want to share a little bit about that around basically, what actually goes on?
Oh, there's a lot that goes on. Like just off the dome because that's what I'm about. Just saying what's on my mind is one of the things
Yep.
I don't understand is like there's a lot of there. Why is there not more help for workers that are struggling? Like there's a lot of things in play that do help, but like I couldn't get over. I was on a job site the other day and I seen a number on the board called the suicide callback line, and I thought it was a fucking joke, mate. A suicide callback line. Why would if somebody's gonna ring that up, they must have fucking hit rock bottom. They're not gonna be waiting around for a callback. And I feel like that was a bit of a piss take. Maybe someone should change that, or yeah, like that just blew me away, mate. And
You know what? Yeah, sorry,
here's
go
the
ahead.
thing too is, construction has the highest rate for suicide in any other
Wow.
industry. Like it's the biggest one. And even when they build a building, so if they do a 30, 40 story high rise tower, in the plans when they negotiate all the agreements, they'll actually allow for deaths and injuries. So they called LTIs, which is like lost time injuries, and they actually allow for how many deaths are going to be on that job site too. So if that isn't enough to make people want to talk more about it and fucking change the legislation, get rid of this shitty paperwork trail that everyone has to sign all these documents in the morning, and actually just talk to someone, like it's totally different. Have someone on site to talk to, or fucking
Mm,
spread the word more. You know what I mean?
absolutely, absolutely. There seems to be a lot of challenges, and despite the fact that there are, I think you mentioned hotlines or something like along those lines, but
There's multiple.
it doesn't. Yeah, there are multiple things, of course, and so it's not working. Despite with all of that, it's not working.
They're good to have, my friend, and I want them
Yeah.
there because it's better to
Yes.
have them and not to have them. But I just feel like
Of
some of
course.
them are working. If I'm at work and I'm struggling, I'm not going to go to a fucking number and call a hotline number. Like I'm going to go. I'm going to approach someone. Like I've had people approach me, and I'm not even a qualified counselor. And
Mm,
over the years, like sometimes all it takes is just your mate to talk to. You know what I mean? And that's fucking
100%.
gonna be some stranger on a hotline number, but they're definitely a good cause, and we do not need to get rid of them. But I think we need to implement more.
Of course, of course, of course. It wouldn't be a good idea to get rid of it, but we need to look into to understand what's working, what's not working, and what these struggling men actually need. Because a lot of struggling men won't actually reach out to a hotline or to professional counseling
Mm.
sessions, for an instance, is because us as men, we have this natural instinct, natural feeling, the feeling of shame. So sometimes, as you said, is that men don't want to go, to that extent to seek professional counseling, but maybe, just to have a chat with someone who is perhaps maybe who could understand or other alternatives. Now, wow. Okay. So, what personal experiences and other observations regarding mental health issues on construction sites have you witnessed? Have you experienced? Have you seen?
Oh,
What's it go?
on,
Yeah. Like,
there's,
what
there's
are the other details around that?
Well, there's hundreds, my friend, but on that note too, is if you actually do have the balls, and Stingray's got the biggest balls in Melbourne. They're massive. I need to hold them up with a fucking belt. They're that big, right? But if you got the balls to stand up and talk about your feelings to
Mm,
whoever, boss or whatever, you then get labeled and scold, and they use that against you. I'm telling you from experience, if I've ever said I've had a problem with someone, or a fucking work method statement, or how we're delivering the works, and I don't feel that I want to do it that way, then fucking people will judge you. They will call you all kind of names, the whinger, the fucking Leela, the guy that fucks around or whatever. Like, Stingray has got the big balls, and he talks up. He's brutal, like fucking baby, out the window. Does not give a fuck. When it comes to safety and my well-being, that's what I do. But more people need to be like that, because you can't.
mm,
You gotta stop judging people. Everyone's different. Like, fucking, and on a job site, fucking everyone's, their capabilities are different. Their experience is different. And the worst people that suffer are the men, because we're the breadwinners. We're the ones, the supporters, the protectors of the women, protectors of the weak. And we go to work to grind, to hustle. And then you do all these massive hours. You do fucking massive overtime. You've got an hour to and from the job site. Well, you don't have any time with your family. And then next thing you know, that reflects back in home, and you're having problems in the household with relationship breakdowns, um, marital problems. You don't spend enough time with the family. You don't even get to see your own kids, mate, because you're too busy out there grinding. And then you, all these problems you have at work, these mental health problems, not talking up, being pushed by the bosses or the companies or the project in general. That weight on your shoulders, you take home to your family, and it's a rippling effect. It's terrible.
wow. Yeah. That's intense, man. That's very intense. That's very intense. And where
Some
is this
people,
leading?
mm.
Yeah. Sorry. And where is this all leading to now? Like, I mean,
uh,
with marriage breakdowns and everything else. I mean, what is the other extreme side of this that men have to deal with?
Well, I think what they do to cover all this up, that's just, it's a snowball effect, my man. I met someone the other day on a job site. I won't say names, obviously, or the
Of course not.
location, but yeah, met him on a job site the other day, and I haven't seen him for years. And I was like, "Hey, bloke, how are you? Fucking, what's going on?" Good, genuine bloke this was, and he goes, "You know what? I'm a heavy alcoholic, and I've got a major problem." And he's going to rehab over it. And I was like, "I fucking didn't even know, man." And like, I hope you all the best. And if you need a shout out from the Stingray, give us a buzz. Gave him my number.
Mm,
Yeah, like, and just you wouldn't even know. Like, and I talked, spoke to him. How are you? He talked to me. He got big balls like Stingray, huge, huge agates, and he
mm,
shared that information with
mm.
me. Didn't have to, and I hope him the best. I hope for him the best. He's actually in there right now. That's a that's a life experience, mate. Happened the other day. And it's a bit of a wake up call for me too, because as I was saying, with the relationship breakdowns, substance abuse, alcoholism, a lot of people have all this to, it's a mask. They wear it to cover all their problems, because they're dealing with
It
all that
is.
shit at work. They bring it home, and it's just fucking snowballing. It just gets worse and worse. Before you know it, you go into rehab, like that bloke. Lost his missus, kids. Lucky he didn't lose his job. That's the only thing holding him on. And he even said to me, if he was still didn't have his job, he'd be at home drinking more, and it'd be even worse. Like blackout drunk, where then you, the next level is obviously the law, crime charges and stuff like that. So yeah, I just hope he does well, mate, because it's fucking, it's
I
pretty bad.
I honestly do, mate. And if he's listening, he's more than welcome to reach out to myself and, of course, or to yourself as well, Stingray. You mentioned something here that's very important: masking the problems. That's a very, very common issue. And the moment we begin to focus change in our lives by focusing on the external environmental factors, alcohol, drugs, and other substances, or simply just basically indulging in things that are non-effective, that does not serve the ultimate purpose. Yeah. All you are doing, you are masking the problems. When we need to focus on change, it all begins start from focusing from the inside, outside, because this material stuff, the latest gadgets, latest phones, latest cars, having mansions, da 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 da. I mean, the
Does
list can go on and on and on. It does not cure the problem. All that does is it masks the problem temporary. It's just like when we buy a new phone or a new gadget of some sort. We're so excited, fascinated, we're on it all the time. But if over a period of some time it becomes normal, you just eventually forget about the hype. Same thing with cars. Same thing with having all of the wealth in the world. Just take a look and observe at a microscopic level. Some of the world's most wealthiest people are not happy.
money doesn't
Are
buy
not
happiness. It helps along the journey,
exactly.
but it does not buy happiness, mate. Happiness.
Absolutely.
Another
Absolutely.
thing Ray likes to promote is I'm the creator of my own happiness. It doesn't matter
Mm,
how bad life is, what the fuck's going on, how shitty and bad the job is. Some people go to work and they're fucking kicking shit around, they're swearing, carrying on, and fucking I'm always smiling, always laughing. I don't fuck around when I'm on high risk machines. I'm driving cranes and shit. That's you got to be serious because it's a very dangerous task, right? But I'm
mm,
always happy. No, I'm the creator of my own happiness, and that's what
mm,
I'm trying to share out to people too. You can just be as happy as you want to be, man. You don't have to be miserable like the other guy. You don't need to
mm.
turn to substance to cover that, mask your problems and stuff. You got one life, man. You got to live it. Got to talk it up, you know.
Absolutely. And it's what you attract, right? Because everything around us is essentially energy. And bad vibes, attracts bad vibes, negative situations. Positive vibes will only attract only the positive, productive, elements into your life, and that's a really good point. And never underestimate good vibes.
Yeah.
Never underestimate
If you're in a room full of shovels, guess what you're going to become? A shovel.
a shovel.
You know,
A shovel.
if you're in a room full of brooms, you're going to become a broom, mate. If you're in a room full of people that are severe alcoholics and dependent on that, and everyone's drinking culture, which is how I was brought up. My old man, drinking culture, ex-army, everyone's drinking after work, drink. You know what I mean? Social events, drink, drink, drink. I'm pretty new to learning now that you know what, you don't need alcohol. You don't need to have drugs, like
Mm,
especially heavy mind altering drugs, because it's just going to make your problems 10 times worse, mate. It'll be all good for a day or two, and then that snowball effect comes through, and guess what? Out of control. Can't see your kids. Relationship breakdown. You lose your house. Lost your mortgage. Oh, lost your job. Lose your mind. You know what I mean? It's not good, mate.
we're actually going to touch on these points very, very soon as well. But there's one thing that you mentioned here is you mentioned the environment of construction
Yeah.
sites. Like if you hang around a shovel, you become a shovel. If you hang around a broom, you're always the fifth person or the sixth person of that environment. So over here, from what I see and understand, because I don't know anything about construction, I don't even understand what goes on there. So this is also helping me to elevate my awareness as well, understand what actually happens out there. So it's not just based on an individual issue. It's also based on an environmental issue because,
It's the
as I
culture.
said, it's a culture. It's the energy there. So it becomes, as I said, a snowball, a domino effect.
Yeah, exactly. And there's always the initial owner, the builder, then your employer, and everyone's fucking pushing each other to get this task done. But you can
Yes.
still do it. You don't need to like bust everyone's balls to do it. I'm a hard worker. I actually enjoy giving me. I got so many tickets and fucking qualifications. I can do everything. Like I don't want
mm,
to talk
mm,
too much, but I'm quite happy being on a shovel. I call myself a shovel master. Give me
mm.
2, 3 shovel, mate. I'll dig holes, and I'm gonna be smiling. I'm gonna be happy about it. You know what I mean? But there's a lot of people
Absolutely.
out there fucking not happy, man. Like
Yeah,
I
you
even
you become the product of your environment. That is essentially that's what that becomes, and but it just really creeps up onto you, and when it does, you don't see it coming, and
yeah.
yeah, I mean, it's a difficult situation, but to improve, just even if it means improvement on 1% better every day, because we can't change everything around us, maybe nothing around it, but we can change
Ourselves,
ourselves.
yes,
Yes, and I'm a big believer of 1% improvement, 1% better every single day.
day by
And
day.
and what I would normally and what I live by is that focus only on one or two things to improve, to elevate, yeah, to reinvent oneself towards improvement, reinvention oneself, become stronger, to build that resilience that a man deserves of. And if there was only one or two things that could be changed or could be improvements, generally on a general scale, of course, because this can differ from person to person. What are the one or two things that first come to mind?
Well, the worst thing I can think of that comes to mind is like a lot of jobs when you go on, it's fucking it's not what your qualifications are, it's who you know, mate. And that's the fucking wrong attitude. That's the wrong way
Mm,
to run
mm,
fucking multiple businesses or whatever. Like you go to work. This is Australia wide, mind you, and the mining work, construction, all the experience that Stingray's done is you go onto a site. It's like, who do you know? And it'll be like, mate, I've got fucking an arm's long length list of qualifications. I don't care who I know. This is what I'm here to produce the goods, and I can do this. So expect great results. And sometimes you have to in construction, you move to a new job, you've got to prove yourself all over again. You scum, you're nobody until you can prove how good, how valuable you are to that site being built or whatever. But a lot of the time, it always leans back to who you know, because somebody with no skills, no qualifications, has got the better job, has got the overtime, has got the nighttime rates, or whatever it is. And this happens a lot. And it's not from me. I'm quite happy with whatever. Give me daytime, give me normal rates, whatever. Super happy, work life balance. But it's the people around me I witness it. It really digs into their mindset, wrecks their life, their thinking and everything. They're like, why? Can't I get this? Why can't I do that? And then they start leaning towards substance abuse, like to cover it. And it's because they don't know someone, or, like it's silly. And on that example, I could say somebody who's got all these qualifications, working their whole life to work their way up in the ranks, to get a better job, to get those hours, to get the better position. And then you've got all these people that come in. Prime example, no names, right? Is traffic controllers. They come in, and I guarantee if you drive around the city and ask half of the traffic controllers, how long have you been in construction for? Half of them will say 6 months. What skills do you have? Zero. They're just taking all the jobs because they know someone, so they get in. Like if I was
mm.
running a business, I would probably look after my friends too. But I mean, where's the medium, the happy medium, where it's not a piss take, where you just give everyone, all your mates, a job, and the people that have worked their whole life supporting the family and paying off mortgages, that have worked their way up the ranks, and they're just getting pushed to the side because they don't know anyone. Like Stingray knows everyone, so it doesn't affect me. This is just from my experience, what I see from other people, and
Like
it's
that's raw, bro.
yeah, that's construction for you, mate. Like
Like that, yeah. And yeah, look, and respect to you, Stingray. The fact that you're just speaking the facts, basically. Um,
what I see, mate.
yeah, 100%, 100%. That's massive credit for you, because not everyone is willing to come out and speak the raw
Big
facts.
balls, big
A hundred
circular
percent,
balls, like
a
fucking
hundred percent,
swollen,
a
massive.
100%. And we need more men like that. And this is what Stingray's about, and this is what the Resilience Project is all about as well, and to build resilient minds and bodies. Now, you did also touch base on, which I did say that we're going to come back to those points about concerning struggling fathers facing relationship issues or relationship issues. I think particularly with their children as well. What
Yep.
more can you share around these factors?
Myself from my own personal experiences, I've had relationship breakdowns from just working too much, doing massive hours, and then driving an hour to and from work. So you're looking at like a 14-hour day, all right?
Wow.
14 hour day, just your normal day job. And you come home, you're that cooked. So you start having a whiskey here and there. And I've had girls that I've been dating and they've said you need to pull up, you're drinking too much, and I'm like, no, I'm not. And I feel like over the years I've noticed that maybe, you know what, I've been a functioning alcoholic. So you need to realize that you do have a problem first to talk about it. And that was when I realized a functioning alcoholic is an alcoholic. It's alcoholism. It's a substance abuse. Some people can have substances and keep working and not it wouldn't cost them their job, but they're not aware that look, they do have a problem and they need to talk about it. That's the biggest thing is like stepping up and being a man, having those giant balls size of
Mm.
watermelon and just squeezing them until the goodness, the juices come out and the truth, brutal honesty.
Yes, absolutely. Raw and honesty, being honest and true to yourself. Would you say that some of these things that you've just mentioned are some of the warning signs that a father can look out for, to be aware of, conscious of?
100%, mate. And you got to listen
Yeah.
to you listen to your spouse because if you're in a relationship, they do care about you. So maybe you need to listen to them a little bit when it comes to
Yes.
sensitive topics like that, instead of getting upset and increasing the volume and making excuses. The biggest mistake someone can do is whether it's smoking too much, smoking weed, you're on the heavy drugs, your coke habit on the weekends, drinking alcohol, is to say that you don't have a problem. And that's the biggest thing. And to deny that maybe you could have a problem is also the biggest problem.
So if situations get to this point, extremes, if it's like significantly, maybe substance, alcohol, drugs, whatever it might be, anything, and doesn't even have to be like drugs or alcohol. It can be from a different perspective of things as well. And a family member or friends, they're seeing something that is not right. How can a family member or a friend, or which would be the most appropriate approach to have those discussions with men who are going through those challenging moments? Because there might be at times when it could be a little difficult to approach because they're probably in denial about their
Correct?
own situation.
I'd say the best thing you can do is just judge a person's character. If they're a happy go getting kind of person that wants to be the clown of the room, they're very vocal, and then one day you notice they're not so vocal, they're not being themselves, then just talk to them. And like if they're comfortable sharing information with you, if they tell you to
Mm,
fuck off, you got to leave them alone. But if they're comfortable to share some information, maybe just dig a little bit deeper and go, like, you okay, mate? What's going on? You want to talk? Let's talk about it. Like,
mm,
let's have
mm,
a chat. I'm open book. You know what I mean? And just somebody to listen to that they can relate to, and that is if you're on site, they can relate to you because you spend more time with your workers on a construction site than your own
mm,
family. So, as I said,
mm,
the 40
mm.
and those big giant agates, the big giant watermelon-sized balls, they need to be produced to the men and women on site, but maybe not the women because you might get in trouble for that. But everyone deserves to talk. You know what I mean? Talk it up, brother.
Of
You got it.
course, of course, of course, of course, absolutely. And look, I think change is always going to be a part of everyone's life, but it's our choice, our decisions, whether if we want to make a positive change that's going to help us to move in that forward direction, or it's either going to be that, or it's going to either going to lead to destruction. And I would
Yeah.
probably say this, and you can let me know what you think, what you about what I'm just about to share. Is that don't focus on changing everything over a short period of time or over the shorter span of time. Basically, focus on changing one or two things at a time, because the
Gradually.
human gradually, exactly, transitional measures, yeah, because the human brain cannot comprehend to, to focus on changing more than three things or three or more things at one single time. Now, especially if you're a struggling father out there dealing with a lot of pressure and you're working on a construction site, focus on one or two things. Visualize your future and begin to take the steps moving in that forward direction. Reach out to the people, to the individuals who are working in the same environmental factors that you're working in. Could be construction site, someone who's been there, done it, and succeeded overcoming those challenges, those adversities in life. But
There's
you
more.
need to start somewhere. You need to start somewhere. And if that also means connecting with the stingray or myself, that is the first step. Doing
But
something is better than doing
I'd like
nothing.
to know, brother, is I'm not a qualified counselor, so I'd much prefer if somebody is really having those big problems and they're contemplating
Mm,
suicide, stuff like that. I
of
reckon
course,
they should go see a doctor and
of
professional
course.
help first. But I've always got I'm a family man, and I've got the bros. I've always got the back of my
A
bros if it's
hundred percent, a hundred percent. And the whole purpose connecting with you is because now everything what you've shared today on this podcast, it may relate to them. Not for you to provide them professional advice, but
yeah,
just to create that initial step, initial connection. And then from this point, you can begin to advise them, hey, have you thought about this?
yeah,
Counseling. Have you thought about this? There are other alternative professional support that you can access. But it's
yeah.
all about sparking, yeah, that first initial step.
And there is a lot of places you can get free counselling. Like if you go to,
Of course.
like I said before, if you go to your local GP, you can actually get on a mental health program. And I'm pretty sure Stingray's done it before. And you get
Mm,
10 free sessions with a counsellor. So
yep.
that's free. That doesn't matter who you are. It's like $70 to go to the doctors, and you get on a mental health plan, and it's all documented and written down. So if you got those problems at work, one little quick trip to the doctors, mate, free counseling sessions with a professional
A hundred
counselor.
percent, and that would be the first initial highly advisable step to take.
Yeah, it won't.
To begin to 100%. It's free. To connect with professional advice, professional
Correct.
counseling. If you find it a little difficult, well, I understand. I'm sure Stingray understands, but always think about how to spark that first plug. Yeah.
Yeah,
The biggest mistake that you can do is leaving it from the inside if you don't allow it to come out, because that will destroy you. It's devastating. It is
yeah.
a devastating situation, and it's only going to increase in the
No.
in a 100%, 100%.
Can I
Mr.
say,
Stingray,
yo?
yes, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
Gonna say, just to elaborate, I do
Yes,
this. Sometimes you need to be a bit more. I've got hair on my head too. For if everyone wants to see that. Sometimes to
yeah,
elaborate life, all right. You're having problems. You know what you need to do? You need to
mm,
be more dynamic and
mm.
dynamic. You might need take on an alternate ego, a different character, someone that does not give a fuck. Like, you know what I mean? Instead of having heavy drugs, you can go down to the beach, watch the sunset. That is a drug. Give someone a hug. You know how many hugs Stingray gives out on a job site on a daily basis? Fucking hundreds, mate, because that's what I'm about. And sometimes you don't know you might be hugging someone and it just made their day. You know what I mean? They might just need a little bit of support. Let them know everything's gonna be fucking all right, bro. It's just another day. Fucking make that money and then come back in tomorrow. It's the same thing, but just crack that smile, like crack that whip. You know what I mean? Make it, make it.
100%.
You're the happier.
100 100%. And you know what? For all the struggling dads out there, whether working in construction sites or not, yeah, you can do it.
Yeah.
Stingray's
100%.
done it. I've did it myself. I've got a story of my own. And guess what? As we sit here right now, we are now building a story right here, right now. As
100%.
time passes, yeah. But let's make it a great one. Let's
Got to
make
be.
it a great one to the point.
This isn't too big for the camera, is it?
It's too good. It's too good.
Too good?
Perfect, mate. Perfect.
Mate, easy. This is what it's
Perfect.
about. Fucking, and your
One
health
hundred.
is a factor too. You got to fucking
Yeah.
do something. Like instead of sitting on that couch, fucking get that alternate ego happening. Get out, get to the gym. Fucking go to Anytime Fitness, mate. West Footscray. Fucking anywhere. Cheap as chips. Seagulls are fucking flocking in for those chips because that's how cheap it is. And you will feel amazing. There's some days when Stingray just does not feel like training at all. And obviously you can see the results because I'm a monster. But you just go there and afterwards you feel fucking 10 times better. 100 times.
100%. And again, going back to the environmental factors, if you change your environment, join communities, join a gym club, join, something that promotes some form of positivity. Yeah, it will gradually, and I can assure you, it will change your life
Gonna
gradually,
start.
transitionally, and all love to everyone. And
Mhm.
let's start making these changes. Let's start making changes in our lives, because to all stronger dads out there, you deserve more and you can do it. Stingray, thank you very much for joining the podcast. Before we end, I just wanted to ask you if there is anyone out there who wants to get in reach of you. Where would be the best place for that?
I've got Instagram. I've just started a new page on that. You can get in touch with us on that. You can give us a follow, a like, a share. I'm all about
Mm-hmm.
positive vibes, making shit happen. Say yes, panic later. Fucking do the craziest shit you want to do. Whatever. As long as you've got a good heart and you can talk about it, then do fucking anything, mate. Don't let anyone stop you. The world is your oyster. Fucking mate, just make shit happen. Make shit happen. That's what I do. A man that makes shit happen.
100%, 100%. So you got you have your Stingray account, and there's also a website if anyone wants to promote the talking narrative as well. I really don't
That's
want to miss that, because
yeah.
I think that that's a powerful approach that we can begin to share with everyone.
My
Start
friend is
speaking
like,
out, talk
yeah.
out.
Well, that's the thing is like a lot of businesses out there, they're all about money. They want a revenue. I've put a lot of money into talk and everything I've been trying to do, trying to level up, just having a crack, saying yes, panicking later. And it's not really like I'm not really after financial gain. I'm after about
Mm,
spreading the awareness. Grab a fucking shirt, fucking whack it on. Go give your mate a hug, talk about some shit, and fucking just live a better life. Go to the gym, change things up, one thing at a time. You know what I mean? Day by day, things will get better. And yeah, like I've got a bad habit of driving in my car with no clothes on because I like the how cool the sheep's wool feels on my seat. Like I've got to stop that. So maybe one day at a
mm.
time. Maybe put some shorts on when I'm driving. You know what I mean? The next day I'll put a shirt on. The next
One
day,
day at a time.
yeah, you know what I mean? Doesn't matter what it is, man. What you got to do,
Uh,
just one day at a time, guys.
100%. Stingray, thank you very much for joining the podcast. I'm sure we're going to hear of you. We're going to see more of you, because I think you bring amazing vibes, amazing awareness to all of the stronger men. And don't forget to speak out, start talking. I've got the information below to Stingray's social account and also to his website if you'd love to support the talking movement. Thank you so much. And we'll see you on the next episode.
Pleasure, my friend. Take it easy and stay safe, my friend. You're a legend, all right?
Thank you very much. See you soon. Thanks, buddy.
See ya.